welcome to our now quarterly call with wastewater operators. Really appreciate everybody being here. A reminder that the call is being recorded and we post the recording on our website as part of the resources we've developed over the past few years that have come out of these discussions. We're joined by Kathy Baskin, our Assistant Commissioner for Water, Mary Beth Chubb, John Murphy, Susie King, and others from our regional offices. Again, we think it's important for everybody to hear the same information, and so I'm appreciative of their time and glad they're on board with us. We usually begin. We've been fortunate throughout these meetings to have EPA join us, and we usually begin with a federal update. So if it's okay, Denny Dart from EPA Region 1, if you'd be willing to provide any updates, that would be very welcome.
Oh, of course. Thank you, Commissioner. So what I can report today is that there is training available on a system called the Enforcement Compliance History Online, or ECHO system, and I'll post that in the chat. This is a public-facing website which has the discharge monitoring report data from all of the MPDS permittees in the country. And it's a good way to see how your facility looks to the public. There is also an error reporting link on the site if you see any issues with the way the data is being presented. So I'll put that in the chat. That's all I had today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Denny. I am just going to mention, we talked a little bit about this at the drinking water operators call yesterday, and just mentioning again because I know people are interested, and I know it's still embargoed, but we've all been hearing the rumors that EPA is going to be making an announcement on the drinking water side today about PFAS, PFOA, and two other PFAS compounds, updated health advisories, and we're I believe the announcement is likely to come out this morning. There's still parts, we still here at the state level need to review the health advisory, but we're committed to working with systems. Again, this is mostly on the drinking water side, but obviously anything with regard to PFAS naturally makes connections to other things. But for right now, we're committed to working with the drinking water systems, and in terms of reviewing the materials we receive and determining what next steps might be needed based on this information. And we'll all agree to stay in touch as the information comes out. So we also are fortunate to have John Murphy from our licensing board present. John, are there any updates you'd like to provide?
Yes, thanks, Commissioner. The board continues to meet as usual every other month, and continues meeting virtually. Last meeting was held on June 8th. Next one will be held on August 10th. Just a couple of quick training updates. The Maui quarterly meeting is in 2 weeks on June 29th. That's virtual. And I'm going to put a plug in for the Massachusetts Wastewater Operator Management Training. That is a program that is going to start in person in September. We meet once per month over a 12-month span. And this is for mid-level and upper-level operators who are getting into management positions. So as a workforce development type program, and it's a good opportunity for mid-range operators to get the training necessary to become superintendent chief operator. And that's starting in September. You can go to the new EPIC website and download an application for that. That's it from the board.
Okay, thank you, John. And thanks for being here in case there are any follow-up questions. One of the areas I'd like to highlight and maybe offer to the floor afterwards to Kathy and Maria Pinode from our SRF program is the issue of funding. As you know, we're currently in the process of of implementing the 2022 intended use plan, which was over $1 billion in projects, one of the largest in a long time. And we're expecting that trend of bigger IUPs and support to continue, because we've had both the federal ARPA legislation. Some of that funding has been now allocated through state processes. $100 million went to, a large part of it went to the Clean Water Trust for providing additional support to the program. There were some specific earmarks that were also funded. The governor also is promoting the Forward Act, and the Forward Act has funding for over $60 million for water and sewer projects, and we believe is a very sound proposal. And so we're continuing to advocate for passage of the act as the governor put forward, and so we'll stay in touch on that, and we'll be, as I said, at the administration level working for passage of that. Obviously, a major source of funding is the infrastructure bill that will provide over $1 billion over the next 5 years of additional funding to help fund infrastructure needs, things related to PFAS, things related to lead, things related to CSOs. So that funding is there. The rules of engagement are still being developed. We are ramping up here at DEP to make sure that we're in a position to be fully supportive and get that money to its intended uses as we move forward. But, so there are a lot of moving pieces, but I thought as I said, I'd turn it over to Kathy and Maria for any additional details you might want to have, including some programs that are pretty close to being pushed out.
Okay, I would like to second what the commissioner said, and thank you for offering this opportunity to put a plug for the SRF program. As a reminder, the next project solicitation for the 2023 IUP is coming out on July 1st. So I urge you to take a look at what's being offered and all the priorities that will be highlighted. A big one, obviously, is the CSO work that needs to be completed. Also, there is a lot of interest, especially from EPA, on advancing sustainability projects, energy efficiency, and anything having to do with green energy and resiliency is also very important. So I wanted also to, if you're not already aware, that Massachusetts DEP is collecting the data for the Clean Watershed Needs Survey. This is very important, and we need your help on identifying especially the big ticket items having to do with capital need costs for infrastructure. I urge you to visit the SRF website. Information is posted online, but if you would like to learn more about it, please contact me by email at maria.pino@mass.gov, and I'll be happy to provide more information. We do expect to submit the applications for the infrastructure funds from EPA. The Clean Water Trust is getting ready to submit the application for all the pots of money. So we want to maximize the offerings, and we hope to have a robust IUP next year. So thank you.
Great, thanks, Maria. And obviously, if there are any questions, we can, if you wouldn't mind sticking around to help us address them. So,
okay.
And Commissioner, I will just note that John Murphy put a link to the course that he was talking about. It's in the chat.
Okay, very good. All right, so with that, I think I think, you know, in terms of announcements and updates, I think that's what we have to offer. So this would be a good time if there are any questions or comments, issues that people would like to raise.
And I also think Jennifer Peterson is able to give us an update on the LIWAP
My
funding.
apologies. Right, my apologies.
Sure, thanks, Kathy. So we got in touch with Ed Kiley at Department of Housing and Community Development yesterday to get an update on the low-income water assistance program. You'll recall this is funding that was designated by Congress to help ratepayers with arrearages due to COVID issues. And there is a vendor agreement that needs to be signed between the utilities and the LIHEAP agencies. They're the ones that distribute the money. I guess there's been some confusion among the utilities thinking it's some sort of scam. It's not a scam. These agreements are real and need to be signed so that the customers will get that the water arrearage help. And there are a few issues that have come up with that vendor agreement from some utilities. So DHCD is working on a memorandum that they will be sending out shortly to address some of the concerns that the utilities have before they sign it. But to date, no money has been distributed. I believe there was about 18 million in the initial pot. So there is certainly money out there to help the low income ratepayers. Those are ones who are qualified under the LIHEAP program. So if they qualify for LIHEAP, they qualify for this water money as well. So be on the lookout for vendor agreements or implementation memos that will help you get that agreement signed and get money to your utility to help those ratepayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. So let's open it up for any questions or comments.
And I will note, we did not get any questions in advance.
I will note one other area that we're spending time on, and it's unique to a lot of the South Coast communities. DEP and the administration is spending a lot of time to improve estuaries on the Cape that have suffered nitrogen issues. In a different bill, different from the Forward Act, a supplemental bill, the governor put forward $200 million to help communities address that problem, either through helping people update their Title V systems or engaging in the community watershed planning. DEP is in a process of engaging with stakeholders to think about regulatory changes that can help support that effort, and we'll be talking to a number of communities on the Cape in advance of any draft rulemaking this summer, and so we will be keeping people posted on that. But that's an important initiative that we're going to be spending a lot of time on throughout the rest of 2022.
And Commissioner, we have a couple of really timely reminders from two of our participants. Jen Peterson has commented, I believe there is a new scoring criteria that DEP is proposing for the clean water projects. Could Maria give a brief update on that and when the public hearing is?
Yes, I did mean to give you a heads up on that, and it escaped me. But the hearing is next week on the 24th, June 24th. And the information of the proposed tiers is posted online. I'll add the link to the chat here. But what we are proposing is to assimilate the tier system that we have in use for many years in the drinking water SRF to make the ranking of the clean water SRF projects more transparent and predictable. So we have proposed a 5-tier system with set points for each tier, and then additional points are added based on the health and environmental impacts of the of the problem and also the benefits of the solution. So I urge you to take a look at that. And if you have any comments, we're accepting a written testimony, or you can come to the hearing next week. I'm gonna post the link on the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. There's another comment from Paul Hogan, which is really timely, and I'm grateful we have Susie King on the line. So this is SSO notification plan reminders to facilities and municipalities. And it's not just the SSO notification plan, but also the entire process of implementing notification to the public for raw, untreated, or partially treated wastewater discharging to our rivers and streams. That goes live on July 6th, and Susie can tell us a little bit more about that as a reminder.
Sure. So as Kathy mentioned, everything goes live on July 6th for our new sewage notification program. Permittees that have CSOs have already submitted their CSO public notification plans, and those are undergoing review at our regional offices. Some communities have already received a letter from the region on those. All those permittees that don't have CSOs have their notification plans due on July 6th, and we've seen those coming in. So we're happy to see people are making progress and feel confident by July 6th we'll have almost all of them, if not all of them. And then come July 6th, when these events happen, either CSO discharges, SSOs, or partially treated events, that's when folks will need to start doing their notifications, which includes issuing a public advisory notification to state and federal agencies and anyone who's subscribed to receive those notifications, posting information on their website, and then entering data into MassDEP's data system, which will then populate MassDEP's website. So we will serve as kind of a clearinghouse for notifications for all the events across the state. So we are happy to help anyone who has questions as we prepare for this. And there've been, we've had lots of emails going out to permittees with various resources and updates. Feel free to reach out to me, to John Murphy, Nicole Galambos, or any of your appropriate regional contacts if you need any assistance. And I think there's a question in the chat specifically about this. You're muted, Kathy.
I'm sorry. So Wendy Leo has asked in the chat, the application developed to submit data to DEP for the sewage notification requires the same information to be entered several times. What is the schedule for streamlining this or making it possible to upload a file instead of all that repeated hand entry? Also, what is the purpose of requiring a copy of the notification to be attached to the records that are entered when it is the notification when the notification was already sent to DEP? So there's sort of two logistical questions. One is the repeat entry of information, and then the other is attaching a copy of the notification to the records.
So to answer the first part, I unfortunately can't give you a solid answer on when we think that kind of improvement to the system will be made. We do expect to have some enhancements that we've already requested, perhaps in the next few months, but I think that is a more advanced one that we don't quite have a schedule for yet. Maybe within the next year, I can't say for sure, but we do understand that is, it is kind of tedious the way things are set up right now. This is version 1 of our system, and we do hope to make continual improvements to streamline it for everyone. In terms of uploading the notification, the reason for that is to get that automatically posted onto MassDEP's website so that it can be visible to the public on our website. That will have notifications for all of the permittees across the state. And we actually had included that requirement to upload the public advisory notification to reduce the amount of information that would have to be hand entered. Otherwise, there would have been even more fields that we would have needed you to hand enter, like the estimated volume, some of the other pieces of information that are in the notification itself. So we were thinking that would save some time to upload that instead of hand entering some of that data. And so that's the reason that we have that requirement to upload the attachment as part of your submission.
Thank you, Susie. Wendy, I don't know if you have any other questions on that. All set, she says. Thank you. And I see, Maria, you have put a link to the proposed 5-tier ranking system for the Clean Water SRF in the chat, so folks can take a look at it there. Commissioner, I don't see any other questions yet.
Okay, we'll give it one more interval here. Anybody has anything they want to ask?
Sherry
Yes, Sherry.
Cousins.
Yes, you
Yes.
can unmute.
Hello, everybody. Quick question. So regarding the sending information into DEP for the sewage notification, it came up, I think it was the training, was it on Tuesday? If I go into the portal, like, I'm representing GLSD, but I could inadvertently say, I'm Haverhill, I'm Lowell, I'm Fitchburg, you know, can that be fixed before this goes online? Because I was basically told during the, we were all told that if you make a mistake, it's very hard to retract that information. Is this resonating with anyone, Susie?
Yeah, this
Keep
is a
going.
concern. This is a concern for us too, and that we weren't aware was going to be an issue until we saw the finished product. And obviously, you know, we don't expect there be that many cases where someone would purposely report on behalf of another permittee, but it could easily happen as a mistake when you're trying to quickly do this. So this is a concern for us as well. We have raised it with IT. I can't promise it's going to be fixed before July 6th, but we will push further on this. And if it's not by July 6th, try to get it fixed as quickly
Right.
as possible.
Because, you know, like the system is really streamlined when, you know, if I put GLSD in, automatically our 5 CSO outfalls will pop up.
Yep.
So it's, I mean, what would make perfect sense is when I enter the portal, you know, Sherry Cousins can only have access to GLSD. So yeah, if that could be done, that would be fabulous.
We will work on trying to get that done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, not seeing any other questions or comments, we'll conclude today. I think when our next session is September 14th, is that right, Kathy?
That's correct.
In the meantime, I am advised, for those who are interested in the drinking water side, Mary Jude Pigsley went on the EPA website and said the announcement is now up, so people can go take a look at that. In the meantime, you know, if there are other developments, whether it's implementation of the sewer notification law or work that we're doing with SRF, or, you know, some of our regulatory approaches that I was talking about, we will make sure to stay in touch and use our other means of communication. And, you know, as always, we encourage you to stay in touch with us, whether it's your regional contacts or people like Susie Weldon and Kathy Baskin to you know, make concerns and questions known. So with that, once again, thank you for everything you do to protect public health and the environment. Thank you for your ongoing engagement with us, and I hope everybody has a good rest of the day. And if not before, we'll get together as this group in September. Thank you.